Hey everyone and welcome to my video on Jetpack Compose Components. In this jam-packed video, we will diving deep into the world of Compose Components, exploring everything from the basics to some advanced and creative applications. So whether you are a seasoned Compose developer or just starting out, this video is for you. We will be covering all the essential components including app bars, autocomplete text view, buttons, card, chip, dialog boxes, list and grid, navigation drawers, scaffold, slider, snackbar, switch, and checkboxes, tab row, and the view pager. But that's not all. We will also be building three real world applications to showcase the power and versatility of these components. Themes which are Google Play Store like top app bar, onboarding screens, and Instagram comment section UI with bottom sheet. By the end of this video, you will be confident Jetpack Compose developer ready to build amazing and interactive UI experiences for your Android application. So grab your coding tools, get comfortable, and let's get started. Let's create this by creating simple composable function Google Play Store top app bar. Okay, annotated with composable. That's simple. Now I'm gonna create first simple the scaffold thing, and this is the content I'm gonna use inside the this scaffold, and which I used in the previous one also. So let's create this. Now make it as black. Now simple. If I run this app currently, then you can see this text is going to be shown on the screen as a content. This is look like it. Now let's create the top app bar. So basically I'm gonna create top app bar by using the composable here. You see here, if I open this source code of this scaffold, then you can see this is the top app bar. It will take the composable, so we can create this composable and pass instead of this already predefined. I'm not gonna use the predefined top app bar, so because we want the customized top app bar, so for that purpose I'm gonna create another composable function. This is one place of. Now simple, if in the top app bar what we want, you can see the screen of the top app bar which we are going to create. So how it's gonna look like, it is look like first there is a search bar and then the two icons, okay, the notification and the profile. So how we're gonna create the search bar, all the for making all the three in the one circle line, simple, in one line, simple, we need water row. Let's create the row, and then inside this let's create the search bar. Now the search bar has these are some mandatory parameters which we need to define to make a search bar work. Now first annotated with experimental material 3 API. Now we need to provide some the parameters value. So let's first see the source code of this search bar. This is the query which obviously you can whatever the user search on the using the search bar. Now on query change, whenever user changes the query text, then this called. Then on search, whenever user click on the search, then active, whether it is active or not. So search bar has two states, active or non-active. On active, it will show us the full screen view. Now on active change, whenever the state changes, you can do whatever inside this, and then the modifier, then the enabled state, whether the search bar is enabled or not. Then the placeholder text we show to the user when until the user searches or types something. Then the leading icon and trailing icon. Leading icon is going to show on the start of the search bar, and trailing icon is gonna shown us to the end of the at the end of the search bar. Shape you can change whatever you want. Colors you can change whatever you want. Tonal elevation you can provide. Then the content you can provide the content inside the search. Okay, now let's implement this. On query I'm gonna provide the text. So let's create a text. Remember mutable state of blank text. Then the second one is the is active, to make sure the state of the search bar, mutable state of false. Now on in the query, simple, provide the text here, blank text first, and then on query change I'm gonna change the text equals to I, it whatever the text entered by the user. Then on search I want my active state to change as, and on search let's make my is active state as false. That because the search is user clicked on the search icon, so search button basically, so we want my state to be false, and I want to show the screen of the whatever the screen currently. So active equals to whatever the value of the is active. On active change, now here's the thing, on active change what we want when the state changes. So that's for that purpose this is the tick. Now if I run this, and let me show you, so how we're gonna run this. First we need to simply provide, basically call play store top app, play store top. Now let me run this and check. Now you can see this is our search bar, and if I click on this thing happening, okay, you can see. Now let's make the row as modifier equals to modifier fill max width. I think I changed something. is active as false. Query change text equals to whatever the on search is active equals false. Equals to is active on active change. On active change. Let's change the value. That's why I thought I'm doing something wrong. I run this again. So the value changes and then it will show us in the active state. And now let me run this. Now you can see this is showing in the full screen view. And when you click back button, simply it goes to the that. Now this is simple that search bar, nothing else. And I want my search bar width change because I don't want it to be taking as full. So let's change the width as 250 dp. That's it. And let's place the placeholder text also. So placeholder text, and placeholder text means simply provide the text search apps and game. Also provide obviously leading icon, and by leading icon I mean simply provide the icon button. Icon button. So because we want to implement on click also, so for that purpose we need to create the icon button, not icon only, on click. And inside this let's just put icon, and the icon we want as icons dot field dot search, content description as search. Yeah, that's it, I guess. The leading icon and the trailing icon. So in the trailing icon, in on Google Play Store, if you see, the microphone icon is provided. So you can take out a microphone icon from where you can download it and just put it as image painter resource. You can use simple. And but I don't have that button currently, and I didn't download it because I don't need to actually. Just simple. I'm gonna provide the icon image vector icons dot fill dot check active. Now let's run this. Also change the width. So now you can see this is the leading icon and this is the trailing icon, and if I click on this you can see now the width is 250 dp. That's why it is showing on in just till the 250 dp. Okay, so we can change that. Actually we can change it. Let me show you how we gonna change this, but before that let's first create two icons more which we are gonna show after the search bar. Okay, so for that purpose let's first create a specifier to provide some gap between two things, then just copy paste it. I'm not gonna create it again and again. Painter resource r dot driver dot, I'm gonna use real icon. Now let's make it as in a circle shape. Basically modifier dot clip circle shape, create border width 2 dp, the color I'm gonna provide as black. Notifications, yeah, that's it. Let's run it first and see how it's gonna look like. Now you can see these are the two icons which we can see at the end of the screen and end of the search bar after this. So now if I click on this you can see simple, but we want it to be take as full width and height. So how we gonna make that happen? Let me show you. But before that, this is really look like something not proper. So I'm gonna change the height and width of these. And how I'm gonna change the height and width? Simply by using modifier equals to modifier dot fill max height. Whatever the max height the icon can take, just take it. Okay, it is not taking much. Let me put it as 650 dp width. I think the width is the solution here, not the height. Okay, it is looking now what we can do, vertical alignment dot center vertically, or we want alignment dot center horizontally. Let's actually run it and see. Now it is looking fine. Okay, and let's change width or not. Actually not change. Let's simply provide padding here. Top, from top I want it as how much, but let's 10 dp. From bottom I want 10 dp, and start I want 20 dp, and at the end also I want 10 dp. Now let's run and see. Okay, now you can see it is looking good now. So now, but if I click on this, simply you can see this is what we are getting, and we don't want it. We don't want this. So how we gonna change this? Simple. Whenever the state changes on active change, we want some things to change, and also you can change content here. We can provide content here. For the content purpose, I'm gonna provide, let's create first list. Actually, where to create the list? Here only we can create the list. So where items equals to list of a string, subscribe, like, and comment. Items, and here items dot for each what we want. For each item I want to create a row, and in each row I want to show first the icon. And icon I'm gonna show is, there is nothing. What? Don't say this, please give me the history icon. Wow, this is not I want accepted. Okay, fill dot search, check, notification, menu, edit, build, call, circle, clear, close. This is not what I expected. Okay, but let's me just put it as, okay, create function as icon because it requires image vector, not the. Now okay, one icon and also the text. So let's change simple the text, and whatever the text is. Now if I run this and show you, let me show you, subscribe, like, comment. You can change it as much as you can. You can design it, you can refactor it as much as you want. You can change the icon, you can change the text also. Now the main question, how it will gonna take the full screen view. So for that purpose we need to create some variables, and I'm gonna change it to search bar width by remember, and it stores the default width which I given it to, which is 250 TP. Okay, and the second value which I want to what we can dare say, which I want to be set as when the user clicks on this. Okay, when the search bar is in active mode basically, then I want it to take the full width. So how we gonna get the full width? So simply where search sorry, display matrix, or we can simple, actually I'm gonna let me screen width equals to local density dot current dot run block, and here I'm gonna provide get local context dot current dot resources and dot display matrix. This is gonna get us the width as pixels, and I'm gonna divided by density, which will give us the screen width in as float value. So let me put the screen bar search bar width here first. Simple. Now on active change, if it is active, that means if is active is true, then search bar width is gonna change to screen width dot tp. Else search bar width equals to 250 tp. You can do this, but I'm not gonna do this because I want to change one more thing. Let me show you. First let's run this and see how it's gonna look like now. Now if I click on this, okay, on thing I do did something wrong. And what I did wrong, this I'm not doing wrong, or what? I think I did this wrong. First change the value and then check. This is what we want, what we need to do. And let me see. Yeah, this is what we need to do. First change the value and then check. Okay, this is interesting thing. Now you can see it is taking full screen. And now also let me change the color. So if I change the container color, how are we gonna change the container color? Let's see, the colors is there. Color search bar defaults dot colors, and inside this color we can provide the container color, and here I'm gonna provide the search bar color. We need to create this obviously, where search bar color equals to by remember mutable state of this pink magenta. I don't know if it is magenta or not. Let's change this as this, and also on this I'm gonna make search bar color equals to color dot magenta color dot white. Search bar color equals to color dot magenta. Now let me run this. Okay, this color is very bad. So you can take any other color, and if I click on this you can see it is white. Now here if we can say that this is not looking good. Okay, you can actually make just like this, the screen width the search bar width, basically you can take it as the padding also, and provide the paddings, change the paddings as according to that. Okay, you can do that also, and by doing that it will take everything else out. And also you can do something like width, max width is not gonna work I think in this case actually, so you need to change the width also. And you can do one thing, that you can simply set these icons as gone state. So yeah, you can do many more things with this. Yeah, you can also change the icon here. Let me show you how you're gonna change the icons also. Yeah, obviously you can need to provide the id here, and then simply, or you can do is here, let me show you, if it is active, it's true. So check I cannot search icon. If it is active, then we want it simple. I'm gonna change the, okay, let's paste it. And if it is active, then I'm gonna make it as close icon, simple. And here you can also do that, check that is active, and then simple provide it as text or whatever. Now if I click on this, you can see the icon is changes. That's it. How to create app bars. And there are two types of app bars, basically top app bar, bottom app bar. Top app bar is basically across the top of the screen, bottom app bar is the across the bottom of the screen. One by one I'm gonna show you how to implement those app bars. So let's create a composable function, and I'm gonna name it as app bars 1 app bars. And inside these, let me show you how to create one by one all the types of app bars. Okay, so there are four types of top app bars: small, center aligned, medium, and large. And I'm gonna show you one by one each. First we need to create scaffold. Let's import it, top app bar, top bar, and simply inside this you need to create top app bar. Simple function, nothing. Inside this top app bar we gonna create colors. We provide the colors, and which are top app bar defaults dot top bar colors. And inside this you can provide container color. And I'm gonna provide container color as color dot blue. Title content color equals to color dot. So simple. Now you also need to provide title here on the top app bar. So this is our text, and this is our small top app bar. Just import it, and there it is. And here you can provide any type of content, whatever you want. I'm gonna just show you the text actually. Let's create a column, normal column. And let me copy the item which I have in this scaffold, which I showed you in previous. So let's just copy it and paste it here. Okay, let's leave it this. Now if I run this, and first you need to call the function from this main activities app bar. Okay, so now you can see this is the small top app bar, and this is our text, and this is the content basically. Now this is the top app bar, this is the small type of top app bar. Now we're gonna create some another type of the top app bar, which is the medium and center align. So first I'm gonna create that center align top app bar. For center align, for creating that type of top app bar, you just need to remove this and create center align top. Simple. Other than that, center app bar, here I'm gonna provide overflow as text overflow dot ellipsis, max lines equals to 1. So the text should be in the one line, not in the maximum two lines. So that's it. And now this is the top app bar, and center line top app bar. Now what we need is the navigation icons. So I'm gonna provide the navigation icon here, and show to the top app bar. I'm gonna create it simple, so not much actually. So this is our icon, and I'm gonna just import it, icons dot filled dot arrow back. And after this navigation icon, we gonna provide actions. So these also will menu. Now if I run this, so you can see this is our arrow icon, which is in the back, and this is our simple. And if I change the color also, I guess I should have tint color dot, make it white actually. That's good. Or you can change the top app bar color. Okay, so simple. You can do that also. You can do other thing also. This is deprecated, so you need to change the icon with the mirrored arrow back. So you can see this is the word. Now it looks fine. So yeah, let's just copy and paste it here also, so that it looks also good. Now it is looking fine. So center align top app bar, which is the title should in the center, and this is the back button, back icon, navigation icon basically. So to go to the back, and this is the menu icon, hamburger icon basically. So you can change it as per your need. whether it is make it as per your custom icon. So yeah, that's it. This is a central aligned, and before that this is small top app bar. And one thing I should do actually, so yeah, let's the whole, or I can just yeah, simple central align toolbar. Now for creating medium top app bar, you just need to change it to the medium. That's it. The size is gonna change, nothing else. Simple. If you look at this, now let me show you how it's gonna look like in this. Everything is same. So you can see this is the medium. So this is actually not somehow, in some cases you can use this, in some you don't need to. This is the medium. And now if I show you the large ones, and then you can use also the large tool, large at top app bar. I'm waiting, didn't import it, no problem. So this is our large top app bar. Okay, some size changes, that's it. Now let's see bottom app bar. For that I'm gonna create another function, composable function bottom app bar sample. Simple. So how we gonna create the bottom app bar? Simple. Just simply create scaffold, and inside this scaffold just provide bottom app bar. Bottom bar, the content is going to be the same, so let's just copy it. Bottom bar, bottom app bar actions. So here you can create some actions, which is some icon buttons. Obviously just show you the icons, simple, nothing much. So this is check, this is edit, this is a mic icon, or you can make it some other also. Let's have check, edit, settings, and share. Now let's run this by calling the bottom bar sample. Now let's run this. Now you can see these are the icons. So now you can also just simply align these icons as per your need, like using the spacing, using the container, using all of these. So inside this you can use composable and provide this composable into this, or you can just simply provide the icons and use some modifiers to make it look like an aesthetically good. These are our bottom app bar, this top app bar. Let's just put this together, run it. Yeah, that's it. So that's app bar. So basically app bars, these are the containers that provide the user access to key features and navigation items. And I showed you the two type of app bar, and which is top app bar and bottom app bars. Top app bars have four type of app bars. Bottom bar is just a simple one. There's nothing to implement into this. So yeah, that's it. How we can implement a scaffold component. So scaffold is basically in material design is a fundamental structure that provides us the standardized platform for complex user interfaces. It holds together different parts of the UI such as app bars, floating action buttons, top app bar by, and through that it gives us our apps a coherent look and feel. Basically the scaffold, let's create a function first, scaffold example, and we just need to annotate it with composable. So scaffold basically provides us the straightforward API which we can use quickly to assemble our apps structure according to material design guidelines. It accepts several composables as parameters, basically like top app bar. First you need to just simple scaffold, and now inside this we can provide several things like let me show you. It takes top app bar as the parameter, takes bottom bar, it takes snackbar host, it takes floating action button, floating action button position. You can also container color, the whole scaffold layout, and then the content color which you gonna put inside the scaffold, and then the content window is set. You can also set the insets of this scaffold window, then the content. Now let's create a top app bar first. Top app bar, simple. In this top app bar you just need to create top bar, sorry, top bar. The top app bar we need to create, and it is simple actually. I'm gonna just put inside this top app bar, just put colors first. Top app colors, top app bar colors, import it, and now provide the container color and title color. So container color I'm gonna put as a color dot red. Title container, let's have color dot white. This is our, here you need to pass the title for the app bar actually. So for that purpose just simple text new developer. This is top app bar, it's opt-in for this. Now the top app bar is completed, and you just need to comma, and now you can make bottom app bar like this. So now the bottom bar, for the bottom bar simple bottom app bar, and inside this also you just need to content color and container. So container color you can put anything. I'm gonna put it color dot red. Content color, not content, it's content color, color dot white. Simple. And inside this you can create as many as icons you want. Bottom app bar. Now let's provide modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width, text alignment at text align. This is our bottom app bar. Okay, now as we have bottom bar, and now we are going to make a floating action button also, and inside this just simple floating action button. Inside this we need to provide on click and also the icon for the floating action. So I'm gonna use the icons dot default dot add button, and the content description content, let's put it, then content description I'm gonna put it as add button, and also I think we need to provide the color dot unspecified as tint, and this is on click of this you can do anything. Let's create first the column here, simple column, and nothing much. This column modifier equals to modifier dot padding, and this padding we need to provide the inner padding here, what our scaffold gives us as the parameter. So here you can see this is the content and this has this padding value, so we need to provide these padding values. We can specify as inner padding or padding if you want, like this, and then you can use padding, or you can simply do what is just ignore it and provide it here. And after this the vertical arrangement dot paste by 15 dp. After this I'm gonna put as text, so the text is going to be the whatever you want. Modifier equals to modifier dot padding 10 dp. If you like this video, click the like button. If you have something to share, then comment it below. Subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Also you have floating action for now count. Now I'm gonna create the count variable top of, so where count, find this all this scaffold from this main activity, scaffold sample, run this and see. Now you can see this is the node developer, the top app bar, and this is the bottom app bar, and this is, and but we don't have content. Why? Make this arrangement dot the, okay, this is weird. Text color is going to be the issue or something else. Color dot black. The issue is basically with color. Now if I click on this, nothing happening. Okay, this is weird. It should happen but it is not working. Let's see why. Okay, I didn't change the value on click of this, that's why. So count plus plus, and now if I run this, the values every time I press on this floating action button, okay, you can see every time I press the value gets. So this is how you can make a scaffold layout and top app bar and bottom app bar within it. How to implement ViewPager using Jetpack Compose. So before use the accompanist library to implement the ViewPager, but now we don't need to because Jetpack Compose has pager in it. Okay, so let's first create a composable function by using just add composable annotation, and inside just need a ViewPager in Jetpack Compose. And the first thing which we need in the ViewPager is the ViewPager state. So how we gonna make sure the pager state? So let's create a pager state variable, and it is gonna remember pager state. Now remember pager state needs some parameters, so let's see. So this is remember pager state function which is in the pager state Kotlin file, and there are three parameters here: initial page, offset fraction, pager count. What is the initial page? Initial page is the starting page which is gonna shown first to the user. Then the initial page offset fraction which is the offset of the initial page as a fraction of the page size. What is the offset here? Offset offset means that the page which is not gonna show to the user, it is a snapped page. So if you point out as 0.5 here, then the half of the page is not gonna show to the user. So this is actually the thing. You can actually implement it as whenever you need that particular thing. So you can change that snapped position. Page count is basically the amount of pages you have for the ViewPager. So this is simple thing. Now let's put the values here. I have 0 as initial page and 0 as for 0f for initial page offset fraction. The total count is 5 in my case. Now it is saying something. Let's see. Opt-in for experimental foundation API on the ViewPager Jetpack Compose function, composable function. Now what we need to do, we need to first create a box and the modifier for this box. Let's first import it, then the modifier, and modifier dot fill max size. And after this we need to implement the inside this. Basically we're gonna implement the horizontal pager, or you can say horizontal view pager. You can do one thing else if you want. You can just simply use the vertical pager. Let's create vertical pager first, then we're gonna implement the horizontal pager. So here state we're gonna just put the pager state here. Inside this I'm gonna create another box for modifier equals to modifier dot fill max size, and content alignment should be the center, so content alignment equals to alignment dot center, modifier equal to modifier dot to fill max size, content alignment is equal to alignment dot center. Let's just have this. Now I'm gonna create a column here. So column, and the column properties are modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width dot padding, which is gonna, you can have as much padding as you want. I'm gonna have 10 dp as a padding for all the sides, 10.dp, and I need to implement horizontal alignment, and this is gonna be center horizontally. Simple. Now as per the state of the pager, I'm gonna show some data basically. So if I'm gonna use the when here. So according as per the pager state dot current page, now it will return as the current number page. So if you are at the first page, then it will return 1. If you are the second page, then it will return 2. And by the second page I mean the third one. Okay, so the value here is the 0 1 2 3 4. So first page means 0, second page means 1, and third page means 2. So as per that I'm gonna implement something. So if this is a 0, then our icon, and in icon I'm gonna put I'm gonna have painter, and painter resource, and pass the r.driver.image1. So this is it. And now have the modifier for the image. So modifier dot width I'm gonna have is as 400 dp and height as 700.dp. Let's have the content description also, which is in my case image 1. Now here's the thing, if you are using painter resource so and icon, so you need to provide the tint as color dot unspecified to showcase your image. So color dot unspecified, and this is it. So if the 0, then simple that. Now if we are outside the when, then we need to, I'm gonna also this is the code for showing the image. Now what else we can show, we can show actually the text. So the text is going to be, text is equals to page, and I'm gonna use the dollar pager state dot current page, and the font size is gonna be 30 sp. Let's run this app and see what's the so before actually it runs, but it is not gonna show us anything because we didn't call the function here. So ViewPager in Jetpack Compose. Now if we run the app, then we gonna see the image first. At first page we're gonna see the image, but from the second page it will not gonna show us the anything. So here you can see page 0, and then sorry, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 4. Okay, so this is how it will working. Okay, now just copy here, paste it 5 times. Okay, now just change the values. So 0, 1, and here 2, everything is same. 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. Here 4 and 3, and also let's add 1 here, value as 1. So now if we run this, then let's see what is gonna show us. So now you can see page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, and this is page 5. Okay, so this is basically the working of the view page, vertical view pager. Now we can have the same thing. If I'm gonna let me show you. Just change it to the horizontal pager, and now let's run the app. This is actually very interesting. Just by changing this, we can have this. Now you can see the slideshow is changed. Now one more thing, if I slide this, you can see the page 2 here. The value is just changed, you can see. So this is the very good thing. This is actually very something. Now what we are missing here? So we are missing here the indicator. The text is showing that we are at the page 5, we are at the page 4, we are page 3, but there is no indicator to show this. So how we gonna show the indicator? This is very simple. This is not a rocket science. There is nothing like a rocket science. Let me show you how we gonna do that. So first let me just create a column here. So let's create a column, and this column is actually gonna simply same the above one, modifier dot fill max width, then dot padding and 20 dp, and this is going to be the bottom padding, not the all side, just the bottom pad. And then the alignment, which is going to be the alignment dot center, and then horizontal alignment, which will going to be the center horizontally. And inside this we gonna create a row and repeat it 5 times. Compose row, repeat it 5 times, and create a custom indicators. Just pass here whether it is selected value. So is selected means the page which is selected currently. And what page is selected currently? The pager state dot current page is selected currently. And if page state is the it value, that means 1, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever the value is, we just gonna send it as true. Now let's create this composable function. So as per this, now what we gonna do with this? So this is actually the indicator. So we just need to create a box. Modifier equals to modifier dot box equals to modifier dot padding as 2.dp, or you can have big as per your need. It is depend on you. Padding and simply the background, and the background is gonna be color equals to if is selected, then color dot, and now you can have anything, color dot black, white, blue, cyan, dark gray, green, light gray, magenta, red, anything you want. I'm gonna have the black as this, and in the else case I'm gonna have color dot white. So black and white, this is I'm gonna have. Now the shape, we can also pass the shape here. So which shape you want? The circle shape, we can have the circle shape, we can have the rectangle shape, whatever you want, it's up to you. Then the size of the indicator. So here I'm gonna have as 15 dp, let's see. And now if we run this, see how it's gonna look like. Now you can see the indicator is showing on the screen, but it is showing on the central of the screen, not at the bottom side. Now why this is not on the bottom side? Because we set the alignment as center but not as the bottom center. So let's run the app again and see. Now you can see it is showing on the bottom of the screen. Now if you do this, you can see this is page 3, this is page 4, this is page 5. And if we change this to the word just vertical pager and run this, it's not gonna change anything at all. It's just gonna show us as same as the horizontal view. So simply you can scroll down and you can see. Now this is it. Button component of the Jetpack Compose. They are fundamental components that allow us our users to trigger a defined action. There are 5 types of buttons, and one by one I'm gonna show you all of those. So first let's see the filled button. What's the filled button? It's a simple button, and for that purpose I'm gonna create a first composable function, which is button example. And after this, inside this I'm gonna create a normal column. Let's just import it and then just create a normal button. And remember, you need to make a button from the composable one, not the weird composable. Okay, so this is the button, and inside this I'm gonna put a text box, which is filled button. Now let's run this and see how it's gonna look like. We can see the filled button, and okay, the weird.compose.material there, but we don't want this type of button. Actually we want let me show you .x dot composable dot material 3 dot button. So exactly like this here. I don't want weird. So now let's run this again and see. Now you can see the filled button. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you the tonal button. So how is we can implement that? Simple, filled tonal button, and it's the simple one, and I'm not gonna make anything and inside this. On click, just simple text tonal button. Let's run this and see how it's gonna look like. So you can see the tonal button. Okay, now if I make all of these modifier equals to modifier dot padding 20 dot bp, and vertical arrangement as arrangement dot center, horizontal alignment as alignment dot center horizontally. Now let me run this. Now you can see filled button and tonal button and the center. So now let's create a outlined button and outline button. And simple, this is also nothing much, just provide the text here, replace the tonal with outlined and run it. Now you can see outline button. Now let's create elevated button. So elevated, now here you can also create elevated as a shape, elevated card on this is some other have some things else, and filter shape, suggestion shape, but we are looking for the elevator button. So and simple, the text with the elevated button text. If I run this again, now you can see the elevated button. You can see some elevation in this, and we can make much more elevation, I guess, if I'm not wrong, by providing the elevation here. Okay, so we can provide the elevation here, and it can make the 3D type design. So yeah, now the elevation is completed. Now let's thus understand that last button, which is text button. Simple text, which is text button. So you can see the simple text button. Okay, so this is the filled button, this is tonal button, this is outline button, elevated button, text button. Now let's see the floating action button. So these are the types of the button samples. Okay, so button. Now let's understand about the floating action button. So floating action button, which is FAB, is a high emphasis button that lets the user perform a primary action in an application. It promotes a single focused action that is the most common pathway a user might take and is typically found anchored to the bottom right of the screen, like you have in the WhatsApp application at the bottom of the screen, or on the bottom right of the screen, and to go to the context page. Yeah, that's it. Now there are four types of fab floating action buttons. Let me show you one by one every. So floating action button, simple, and on click I'm not performing any action. I'm just gonna provide the icon here. And how we gonna provide the icon? Simple, composable icon, icons dot field dot add, and this is our floating action button. Let me run this first and see if it is working perfectly or not. It should work. I am not yeah, it is working. So it's simple, floating action button. Now here you have some things, so you can change, like the container color and the content color. So basically the icon and the container, which is primary color, I guess, here. So you can change that container color, this container color. You can also shape change, you can change the shape also. And exactly like that, we have some other floating action buttons, like small, large, and extended. So I'm gonna show you one by one. Actually, I'm gonna make every other icon simple. Let's copy it and paste it 3 times. So let's the floating action button replace with the small floating action button, and then here with the large floating action button, and here with the extended floating action button. And I'm gonna make all of these commented. Now you can see the normal floating action button, then the small, and then the large, and then the extended. So these are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 floating action buttons. So yeah, that's it. Chip component is basically a compact interactive UI element which represents complex entities like contact, a tag, often with an icon or label. It can be checkable, dismissible, or clickable. There are 4 types of chips: assist, filter, input, and suggestion chips. These 4 I'm gonna implement in this particular video. So first, let's start with the assist chip. How we gonna implement that? Simple. Create a composable function, fun assist chip example, and in this example, I'm gonna create column first, simple column. Now let's create assist chip. These chips have same parameters all in all the chips: label, icon, leading icon, and on click. Leading icon and trailing icon parameter. So if I this is the on click, this is label, this is modifier, enable, leading icon, trailing icon, shape, color. These are some, basically these are the things that we need to provide, like label and on click. So otherwise these are some default ones. So you, if you don't apply something, then it applies the default things on to that chip. So let me first simple on click, leave this as label, and leading icon. Okay, so leading icon, I'm gonna put icons dot field dot settings, and then simply provide the content description. Let me first import it. Content description, I'm gonna put it as null, and then modifier dot size, assist default dot icon size. And now the label, we need to provide the label. So for the label purpose, we just simple provide the text, and with the assist, and on click I'm gonna print message as assist shift sample. Now if I run this first, I need to provide call this from here, so shift example, and let's run this. But let's see how it's gonna look like. So you can see this is our let me just put it as a horizontal alignment dot center horizontally, vertical arrangement dot center. Now let me also, you can provide modifier here, so you can change the size of this. Let me change the size also. Let me change the size. Modifier dot width as 50 dp and height as 20 dp. Import it. Now run this. Assist chip, basically composable. It provides us the straightforward way to create an assist chip that nudges the user in a particular direction. One distinguishing feature is its leading icon parameter that lets you display an icon on the left side of the chip. So okay, it is too small. Like this is 50 dp is too small. Okay, that 300 dp and make it 40. So you can basically create this assist chip like this. Now let me show you the filter chip also. Yeah, let me show you the filter chip. So let's simple filter chip, and in this filter chip, let me show you, this is the selected one. So filter chip is basically we can select or unselect that also, so you can use that for that thing also. Let me create a selection selected by remember mutable state of false. So selected unselected has two values, which is true or false. So I'm gonna put it as false default, and whenever user clicks, then I'm gonna change the value to true. Now on click, let me put it as selected equals to whatever the value of the selected, just reverse the value, that's it. And selected equals to the selected value, everything else is same. And leading icon I'm gonna change on the basis of the value of the selected one. So if selected, then if selected icon equals to image vector icons dot filled dot done, content description as null, and modifier dot size filter chip defaults dot icon size. And in the else case, just put it as null. Why it is showing around with lambda? Okay, so let me run this. Okay, I didn't change the text, so let's change the text also. Filter chip. Now if I click on this, you can see this is selected, this is unselected. So you can use this also as when I'm must when you obviously the filter things, like in the shopping apps, where we filter the items, or if you see some career pages, then career pages of some companies, then you can also select some values like location, job department. So these can be helpful. Now let's see some other, like the input chip. And what is this input chip? So input chip is basically chips that result from the user interaction, like an email client. When the user is writing an email, an input chip might represent a person whose address the user has entered into the to field. So these type of fields can be used as we can create those fields like using input chip. So in the input chip, on click, I'm gonna provide, first we need to call the on dismiss, and okay, just remove this first. Selected, and label is equal to the text, selected equals to selected, avatar and trailing icon we can select from this for this what we can say input chip. And also if selected, then this as null. Let's remove this else case, and above this I'm gonna call if selected the value is this, then simply return, otherwise we're gonna recompose this column. And let me just simply copy paste something. So selected equals to selected, avatar icon which is person, icons dot field dot person, then localized description, content description is equal to null, modifier dot size, which can be input chip defaults dot avatar size. And after this, trailing icons dot default dot close, content is null, icons dot default dot close, content description null, modifier dot, okay, that's it. Now let's run this. First let's run this and see. This is our filter chip. If I click on this, remove this is our you can make it as a input chip, as like what we can say, whenever user enters something, then put make it as this. And yeah, simple input type. You can close whenever user clicks on this dismiss icon, just dismiss it, or you can change, see that they change it, the selected one value, that's it. Now the last one is the suggestion chip, which is simple. There is nothing in the suggestion chip actually. So let me make it simple suggestion chip. Inside this, show you this. This is the suggestion chip. Simple on click value and the label. That's it. On click, you can just simply perform some action on action, and You can show some text, make it as a label. This is the suggestion. The suggestion chip and assist chip is something you can say the similar ones, nothing. And suggestion chip don't have, I guess, trailing icon. So yeah, trailing icon and these things are not available in the suggestion chip, but in the assist chip. So you can, if you have any icon, then you can provide this. Otherwise, don't use assist chip. So yeah, that's it. See how to use slider component of the Jetpack Compose to increase or decrease the volume of the device programmatically. For that purpose, we need to create a composable function, and that composable function is simply function, and I am going to name it as volume controller. So volume controller, and inside this volume controller, we need to create a variable to store the current volume. And how we gonna make it as so mutable state of 0. Why? Because we don't want the value to be changed when the recomposition happen. Basically the current value, we don't want to reinitialize it every time the recomposition happens. That's it. And then we need to create an audio manager object by using the context. So here we need context, and how we gonna get the context? We get the context from this parameter, from where we are calling this volume controller. We need to provide the context and the parameters. Context dot get system service, and which service we are looking for? We are looking for audio service as audio manager, and this is how we create the object. And now we need the max volume of the device. So max volume, and how we gonna get the max volume? Audio manager dot get stream max volume, and audio manager dot stream music. Okay, now this is how basically we get the max volume. Now the slider thing. So basically slider composable allows us to make selections from a range of values. You might use a slider to let the user do the following things. First, adjust settings that use a range of values such as volume. We are going to do, and the user can use it for filtering the data in a graph, as when setting a price range. And also you can take it as a user input, like setting a rating in a review. So these are the some purposes you can provide the users. Basically you can use the slider composable to get from the user. Now slider contains a track, thumb, value label, and tick marks. Okay, so these are the four things slider contains. And track, thumb, track, tick marks, three things, nothing that. So what's the basic implementation of the slider? So simple slider. And in this, if we get into this, let me open it. Now you can see the value, the on value change, and this is the method basically. And then modifier, then enabled, value range, steps, on value change, finish, colors, interaction, source. Let's first provide the value. So what's the value here? We have the current volume dot to float, and this is the value, the max volume dot to float. So this is the value we are going to set to the slider. Okay, and whatever we are getting the value. Now whenever the value change, let me see this. So this is basically the new volume we are getting from the slider. Like the slider value changed when you slide the value. So use a slide, the slider value gets changed, and you get the new volume. Now what we going to do with this new volume? Simply current volume equals to new volume multiply max volume dot to end. So this is how we're gonna set the current volume by using the new volume. So the value of the current volume is now equals to this new volume into max volume. And just set this stream volume, and audio manager dot stream music comma current volume comma 0. This is the flag. Now everything is fine. Let's have the padding here. So modifier equals to modifier dot padding, and I'm gonna have the 20 dp as padding. So now if I run this app, you will get to see. Actually, let me run this app. Volume controller local context dot current. Let's run that. complete reinstall. The app is installing now. Installing. So this is our slider. Now if I choose this slider here, now you don't get this here like whether the value gets changed or not. So basically how we know whether the value gets changed or not. So for that purpose, this is our volume down button, this is volume high button. When you click on this, you get this. We are in the halfway. So if I click let's raise it. Okay, now the slider value, if I put this slider value to the this, our value gets changed. See, or you can see also do one thing, like we can get the current value and set this to this also. We can do this. Can we do this? Can we do this? Yeah, we can do this, but we are not going to do this. Okay, because we have something else also in this particular thing. This is the simplest basic implementation of slider, and we are going to look into this the advanced implementation of this complex slider, which you can additionally make use of the following parameter, in which the colors, the value range, and the steps, which we already saw. So how we gonna do that? So for that purpose, let's remove all of this, and now create where slider position by remember mutable float state of 0. And after this, create a column, and simply do not need anything else, just slider. And in the slider we have the value, which is going to be the slider position. On value change, we are going to put this as slider position equals to 8, the new value basically. Then the colors, and how we gonna change the colors? So basically colors have some we have some slider defaults dot colors, and inside this we can provide thumb color, which is you can provide anything. I'm gonna get the color scheme dot primary. Basically the primary is already there, so let's change this thumb color as color dot green. And active track color, and which is color dot blue. And inactive track color dot, which color should be I choose, which color should I choose, color dot red. Simple. Now I can put steps here, like 4 step, 5 step, 6 step. I'm gonna put it as 5 step. Value range, like from which to which, so 0f dot dot 100f. And it there is a should I'm gonna put the text, which is going to tell us the slider position. Now run the app and see what's gonna happen. Key the app. Now you can see this is the slider, the green, the red, and we are going to get the blue color also. Just okay. Now I'm gonna do one more thing here, and which is modifier dot equals to modifier dot padding, which is 50.dp 16.66600. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, 5 steps. So 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5. Why? This is so basically it takes 6 step when provided 4. I think it is taking 0 also. I don't know about this, but I will research it. Value range steps is equal to 0. Okay, if not provided, then the steps are 0. That means the 1. So by default it is 1. So the number of provided 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, simple. 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is how basically you can make some changes to the slider. And also there is one more, which is the range slider. We can also use the dedicated range slider composable, which is allows us the user as a user to select two values. This can be useful in cases such as when the user wishes to select a minimum and maximum price for if in a e-commerce app like Amazon or Flipkart. So that's also the very useful. And let's create that. How we gonna create that? Simple. Slider position is going to be there, and but we need to provide the value as a range here. So like this, mutable state of, okay, floating point range. This is now the column, and then the we are not going to use the slider here. We need range slider. The value is going to be the slider position. The steps is going to be the 4 or 5, whatever you take. And on value change, we get the range here. So slider basically the it and the new value here, and the value range is 0 to 100. On value change finished. This is on value change finished. This is the new thing. And how you gonna use this? So basically you can use this as a what we can say, lost some business logic update with the state you hold. And by using view model or something else, presenter maybe, by calling the function update selected slider value or something like that. So this is how you can use this range slider. Let me run the app and show you. Now you can see this is the starting point, this is the ending point. If I click on this, this is the range, and this is 20 to 80, 40 to 80, 40 to 60.004. This is something interesting. And if 80 and 60, 20 to 80, so you can play along with this. This pointer is not going to be coming inside this. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We are going to create an checkbox and switch. Let's first create a simple checkbox. Okay, and how we gonna create a simple checkbox? Just simple checkbox sample. And let's create a composable function, composable, and the function name is going to be the checkbox sample. And we need to create a check state here. Okay, that whether the checkbox is clicked or not by the user. So for that purpose, check state. And we are going to remember this because we don't want the value to be changed every time the composition of this function basically. Then mutable state of value is true. And after that, just simple checkbox. Now here you need to provide something, whether it is the checked means whether it is checked or not. So for that purpose, check state dot value. And on click change, what does that mean is basically what is going to be happen when on checked change clicked basically. Okay, so here I want simply the value set to be that. Okay, if the value is true, then it's true. If the value is false, then it becomes false. Now here actually you need to provide logics like what you need to basically update the data according to that. But let's run it and see how it's gonna look like. Okay, now you can see this is the simple checkbox. Actually, if you click it, you can see the animation occurs. Check, check, not check, check, not check, check, not. Okay, how we gonna improve this? Or we how what else we can do? What you can do actually, you can make multiple checkboxes and provide the row or column as per your need. So here I'm gonna show you the sample with text also. So with text, let's create this simple composable function, composable and function. How we gonna provide that? So for that purpose, simple. First we need to provide the we need to create a variable of check state, which is gonna check the state. And first create the row and see what else we need for this. So first modifier, which is going to be the modifier dot padding. And padding I'm gonna provide the 12 gp. You can provide it as per your need obviously. Then the horizontal arrangement, which is arrangement dot center. And after this, here we need to create a checkbox, not checkbox sample, this is checkbox. And okay, I don't think we need to import it. Yeah, so here checked equals to check state dot value and on checked change. So here exactly same what we did in the previous one. So let's provide the check text here. Let me explain you why I provided the null to the on check change. Just first create a text here, text first, or you can say like. then provide the modifier here and provide the modifier dot padding, which is 15 dp. And now let's run this and see. It is installed. You can see there is nothing. This is the text and this is the checkbox. So if I click on this, this is there is nothing happening. Okay, now this is like, this is nothing happening. Okay, now if I click on this and the value is gonna change. Oh, sorry, equals to like this. And let's run this checkbox and text. Let's remove the padding also. I think making the also remove the padding here because I don't think we need padding. Rerun the app, install and restart the app. Okay, now you can see if I click on this, the check is gone. Okay, now let's switch. So let's switch. So first let's create a basic switch. And this is also provided in the Jetpack, android.developer.android.com website. You can check out there also. You can read the documentation of the whole Jetpack Compose. And there also they provided everything. And the switch component basically allows the users to toggle between the two states, checked and unchecked. In your app, you may use the switch to let the user do the one of the following things, like toggle the setting on or off, enable or disable a feature, select an option. This component basically has two parts: the thumb and the track, like we have in the XML also. And the thumb is basically the draggable part of the switch, and the track is the background of the part of the switch. Basically, the user can drag the thumb to the left or right to change the state of the switch. They can also tap the switch to check and clear it. So how we can create? Simple. Let's create a composable function, fun basic switch. And inside this basic switch, we need to create a variable where checked by remember, or you can do this other way, which I show you in previously. So this is, and now we need to no, this is not create an extension property. I don't think we need to create an extension property where checked by remember. I think I used a wrong remember. Key one where I key. I think I used the wrong one. Okay, this is weird. This is not going to be happen. Let's now it's showing import. Yeah. So I don't know what happened. So where checked by remember. And now create a switch. Simple. Switch checked or not. So checked. Let's check on change. Check change. Simple. Let's check. Check the value equals to 8. Simple. Now run it and see it's gonna work. This is a simple thing. Actually, it's not that difficult. Let me show you the no, you can say the switch, toggle it, toggle it, toggle it, toggle it. Okay, simple. Now let me show you the switch icon with the what we can say, the thumb. Basically, how we gonna change the custom thumb, how we can create a custom set. So basic switch with icon, basic switch with icon. And how we gonna do this? Simple. First, let's just create a var checked, the variable. Simple. We don't need to change it. Then checked is equal to checked, on check change, simple value change. And now let's have some other component of this, like thumb content. So if the value is checked, and equals to if checked. I think I did something wrong. Why? Let's see. Round with lambda. I don't understand why it is showing the error. So icon, and in this icon you can provide anything. So I'm gonna provide the image vector here. Image vector, which is icons dot filled dot check. Okay. The content description check. Modifier equals to modifier dot size switch defaults dot icon size, and in the else case simple null. Let's run it and see. Okay, now you can see we have the thumb. Basically the checkbox is here now. If you saw this, and you can actually change it with any of the image. So now what we are going to do is, simply we're going to create the switch with custom colors. Okay, so how we gonna do that? Simple, basic switch with custom color. And what we gonna do is basically simply check is equal to check, on check change equals to it. Rather than thumb content, we just need to create colors. So switch defaults dot colors, and inside this you need to provide checked thumb color. And how we gonna provide the thumb color? Material theme dot color scheme dot primary. So you can basically provide any of the colors. Okay, so check track color, then material scheme dot primary scheme dot primary container, and then uncheck thumb color and uncheck track color. What is the correct dot color scheme dot secondary color, material theme dot color scheme dot secondary container. Now if I run this, so with custom color, let's run the app. See, so here we change the thumb color, track color, and if I show you, then you can see that we can create thumb color, track color, border color, icon color, thumb on the unchecked and unchecked both. And so this is and disabled also, the disabled state of the color switch basically. And inside the switch we have these things, which is checked, on check change, modifier, thumb content, enabled or disabled, colors, and then the instruction shows. So these are the ways you can create a switch. You can see the color is changed, and yeah, that's it. Card composable is basically act as a material design container for our UI. Cards typically present a single coherent piece of content, like a product in a shopping app, a news story in a news app, a message in a communication app. It is focused on portraying a single piece of content that distinguishes card from other containers. For example, like Scaffold provides us the general structure to a whole screen, but card is generally a smaller UI element inside a larger layout, whereas a layout component such as column or row provides simpler generic API. In this video, I'm gonna start from the basic implementation of the card and to the advanced implementation. So first let's create a composable function, which is card example, and I'm gonna call this card example from the main activity directly, so that whenever I run the app should run the card example function. Now how we gonna make it the simple card UI, and then text box. Now text is going to be the noob developer subscribe. Okay, now the card composable by default is going to take the whole screen. So for that holding, I'm gonna put it in under the column section, column layout basically, so that it don't take whole screen. The content is just a text, so it takes the this much screen, which take this text box to take. And I'm gonna put it as modifier equals to modifier dot not modifier. Let's put this as horizontal alignment as alignment dot center horizontally, and vertical arrangement as arrangement dot center. Now if I run this app and show you, then you can see it is going to show us the text in the center of the screen. So this is how basically it is showing. Now if you make some changes inside this text box, then you will see, like if I make it as modifier dot make padding as 30 dp, and let's first see how it's gonna So now you can see this, the text box is looking good by after the padding. So let's actually implement the advanced implementation, like the key parameters in the card. If you see, shape, color, elevation, border, these are some basically the parameters which we are going to use in this particular. So how we gonna make the field card? Okay, let me show you the how we can make the field card basically. So let's put the colors first inside this card. So for that purpose, card defaults I'm gonna use and dot card colors, and inside this card color we're gonna provide the container color, or you can provide some colors also, like if I show you container color, content color, and also disabled content color. Like when the card is not enabled, then you can put as the color which you want. Okay, now what container color I should take? I'm gonna take as color dot blue, and I'm gonna make the color here equals to color dot white, so that it not looks like. And also let me change the font size 25 sp. Now if I run this app this time, but let me put some other things also. So this is our colors, and now you can put modifier also. So let's have modifier here, modifier dot. Here you can put size, width, or whatever. I'm gonna put the size and width as 240 dp, or you can take as 250 dp, and height 100 dp. Now if I run this, and you can see, me show you. So this is actually the field card view, which is now the size is basically containing, because the padding is too much for this type of card. If I increase the size here, height basically, then it looks like this. Okay, and let me make it as 300. Now you can see the live, this is looking good. So this is basically the field card. Now let's work with the elevated card. How we gonna make it the elevated card? Simple, use the elevated card as this. Now here you need to provide the elevation card defaults dot card elevation, and default elevation आपका जो the default elevation you need to provide, like I'm gonna provide the 10 dp here. That's it, I guess. You can create, although I think we can also make it look from this card also. Let me put this as elevation card elevation, and 20 dp. Let me run this and see. Should look like elevated, yes, but how should I know that it is elevated? I think I need to provide the background color here. So modifier dot background color dot gray. Now I think it should. So although it is elevated, if you see this, let's make it white, I guess. Then it looks like good. It should look good. Now you can see this is elevated actually. If I increase the elevation here, then I think so. Yeah, this is elevated card actually, and although they have the elevated card, also the outlined card, not outline button. So outline card. Now here also the colors simply you can take, and I'm gonna put it as white actually, and you can make a border here, which is I'm gonna make as border stroke. Let's have 5 dp, and color as color dot red, and I'm gonna select the color for the text as black. Now let's run this and see. I think it looks good actually. It should look good. Now you can see, simple, nothing much. The border, the stroke, the color, and inside this the text. Simple, nothing much. So this is our outline card view, and you can create, although from the same card, you can use by providing the border and the elevation. You can use simple, nothing much. And if I use the outline card, if I show you this also has. So by default it has some outline border and outline card elevation also, outline card colors also, outline shape also. But if you saw the previous example, like let me show you the card, then you can see This is outline card, this is elevated card, and this is elevated card, this is card. So here it is null, the border stroke is null. Although card elevation provided, card colors provided, card shape provided, but the border stroke is null here. And also, if in the elevated card you can see, it is returning exactly the card, nothing much, but just providing the elevation here. And inside this elevated card, it is providing the interaction source and colors, and it is same on click, it is providing the on click also. And in outline card, it is providing all the card. So basically it is written in the card, so you can use this, or you can just provide inside the card also, card composable basically. So yeah, that's it. Have you ever wondered how to create those sleek modern snack bars in your Jetpack Compose apps? Well, wonder no more. In this comprehensive tutorial, we will delve into the world of Snackbar, exploring its features and learning how to implement it seamlessly into your Android projects. Get ready to elevate your app's UI to new heights with Snackbar's delightful animations and informative messages. Snackbar is a versatile component that lets you display brief messages at the bottom of the screen, keeping users informed without disrupting their flow. It's perfect for providing feedback on actions, notifying users about events, or even offering an undo option for accidental deletion. So, for implementing the snack bar, let's first create a composable function, and I'm gonna name it as snack bar example. And inside this, first we need to create a snack bar host state. Why we need to create this snack bar host state? First, let's create it, and then I will tell you why we need this. Okay, so we need this snack bar host state? If you open this source code of this class, then you will get to see that show snack bar function. So for this function to call, you need to create this snack bar host state object. This function is a suspend function, so we also need an coroutine scope to call this function. So let's create the coroutine scope, remember coroutine scope. And now let's create the scaffold layout. Let me put the content, just copy the content here. Forget about this content thing, you can put anything you want. Now snackbar scaffold basically has this parameters: modify, top bar, bottom bar, snackbar host, floating action button, everything. So this snackbar host will get we need to provide the snackbar host here. So snackbar host, and inside this host we need to provide a composable, which is in our case snackbar host is a composable which has a parameter to take host state, and you can also do modifier and snackbar composable you can provide. So let's first create this snackbar and provide the host state which we created, snackbar host state. Now this is the snackbar host. Now we need to call the snackbar host function to show snackbar. For that purpose, I'm gonna create a floating action button. Let's create this extended floating action button. Provide the text here. So just text is show snack bar, then icon, and I'm gonna implement the image vector icons dot default field dot add content description. I'm gonna just blank, take this as blank. Now on click of this floating action button, I'm gonna simply scope dot launch and snack bar host state dot show snack bar. Inside this snack bar, you need to provide the message to show message. Provide the message as show snack bar. No, let me just subscribe, like, and share. And now if I run this, let me run this. So it is installing now. This is the content, and this is the snack bar flattening action button. And if I click on this, you can see this is the snack bar: subscribe, like, and share. So yeah, that's it. Now let me show you the other type of snack bar with action button. Okay, so for that purpose, just need to hold this result, and in this result we just need this snack bar host state dot show snack bar and provide the message here, message. And after the message, I'm gonna provide the action label. Action label by default is null, undo. So you can provide action buttons like undo or remove or something like that. Okay, and with the dismiss action. So with dismiss action, by default it is false. This dismiss action basically the cross icon which you get at the on the snack bar, so to dismiss the snack bar basically. So I'm gonna make it true. And duration, for how much time you want the snack bar to be on the screen. Okay, it by default it is snack bar duration dot short for short period time, but in this case we want it to be indefinite. And after this result, we just need to check if result snack bar host result dot action performed or snack bar host dismissed. So these are the things, these are the two items which can be called, which are the result of this basically Snackbar host. So action performed means if user clicks on the action button. Dismiss means if user clicks on the dismiss icon. So these are the two things, and you can perform any action whatever you want or as per your need. Let me run this and show you how it's gonna look like. So now if I click on this, you can see subscribe, like, share, undo and cross button. So if I click on the undo, then dismiss, and it will come into this, and if I click on this cross icon, then it will come in onto this block. So yeah, that's it. We are going to create an alert dialog box using Jetpack Compose in Kotlin Android Studio. So how we gonna do this? Simple. We need to create a composable function which is alert dialog box, and this is going to be the composable. So annotate it with composable. Inside this composable, I'm gonna create this alert dialog, and this alert dialog has certain parameters here: on dismiss request, confirmation button, modifier, dismiss button, icon, title, text, shape, container color, icon, container color, and all of these properties. And these are the details of these functions, these parameters basically. So on dismiss request called when the user tries to dismiss the dialog by clicking outside or pressing the back button. This is not called when the dismiss button is clicked. Confirm button, which is meant to confirm a proposed action, thus resolving what triggered the dialog. The dialog does not set up any events for this button, so they need to be set by the caller. Now modifier, we all know about this. Dismiss button, just to dismiss the dialog. Icon, to show to the some icon above the title or above the text if in case of a title is not present. Then the text, which represents some text of about the dialog box, or the title if we need the title also, and the shape if you want to change the shape of the alert dialog box. These are the things. Now on dismiss request, so I'm gonna create some parameters in this function also. So on dismiss request, then on confirmation, and dialog text, dialog title, dialog icon, which is image vector. Okay, so these 5 things I actually am gonna need in this particular, for this particular alert dialog. So let's create the alert dialog. So on dismiss request, just simple call this function on dismiss request. After this, let's have this on dismiss request. Then we have on confirmation, on confirm button, and we need to create a button for the confirmation. So we need to create a text button here, and this text button is going to have 2 things: on click method, and on which click of certain things gonna happen, on click of which. So simply on confirmation, and provide the text for this button. So text is going to be the confirm. Then after the confirmation, we need dismiss button. So dismiss button, it is also going to be the same thing, nothing changes. So let's just copy and paste. On click, just on dismiss request, that's it, and this is dismiss. After this dialog, title, and which is going to be the text, dialog title, and text, so dialog text, and then icon, which is icon, dialog icon. Okay, icon required some function, so we need to provide the icon here, which is icon, provide the dialog icon here, and that's it. So yeah, that's it. Okay, now we need to call this function, the alert dialog box function. So how we gonna call this? So for that purpose, actually we have 2 states in case of alert dialog box, which is either the dialog box is open or not open. Okay, so for that purpose we need to create a variable. I'm gonna create is dialog open, and this is gonna be remember as mutable state of true. So I choose this value as
true by default. Why? Because I want to open the dialog box when I run the app exactly at that same time. I don't want to open the dialog on the click of something, so that's why I just prefer the value as true. So now when is dialog open dot value is true basically, then what happened is I'm gonna call this alert dialog box method, and in on dismiss request simply is open dialog dot value is equals to false, and on dismiss request on confirmation also this is the same thing. So let's have this, but here I also want something which is println confirmation, and then dialog text which is this is noob developer YouTube channel, then dialog title subscribe like share, dialog title dialog text dialog icon which is icons dot default dot person. Now if I run the app, let me run the app and see how it's gonna work and what it's gonna show us actually. And let's have logcat window, close everything. Now you can see this is our dialog box, alert dialog box, subscribe like share, and this is the header file, header image actually. This is no developer YouTube channel, this is the dismiss button, this is the confirm button. If I click on the confirm button, you can okay okay, it is confirming I guess, but no, it is not confirming. Let me see. Yeah, it is not running my function. Why? Let's see. Alert dialog box on dismiss request the function, it will return the unit here, and on click of text button I want on confirmation, just make it this, and make it this, and then make it this. Now let's run the app and see. Okay, so that's it, I guess. That's it. Okay, let's confirm it, and you can see the dialog is gone. Let's go to the logcat and see if you can see system.out confirmation. Okay, so that's how basically we can show the dialog to the alert dialog to the user using Jetpack Compose in Android Studio using Kotlin programming language. So that's
Ever wondered how to create those cool sliding menus that magically appear from the side of the screen? Well, get ready to unleash your inner magician and learn how to conjure up these navigation drawers using Jetpack Compose Material 3. It's going to be so easy, you will think you are pulling a rabbit out of a hat. In that navigation drawers, first let's create a composable function, and I'm gonna name it as simple navigation drawer example. And now, how we gonna create the navigation drawer? Simple. We need the composable function which is model navigation drawer. This model navigation drawer, let's see the source code of this model navigation drawer. It takes drawer content, then modifier, drawer state, just enabled, screen color, content. Just enabled by default is true. That means you can swipe in drawer state whether it is open or closed. Modifier, simple, you know, change the out background or something, and that's the drawer content. Here you need to provide the drawer content. The drawer content means when you slide in and the user is gonna see is the drawer content basically. Let's simply create the drawer content first. how we gonna create the drawer content? So for that purpose we need some data class to hold the data of the particular drawer content, or you can say drawer item. So first, simple model drawer sheet, which the drawer sheet which is gonna opened when user slide in. Okay, so inside this I'm gonna create a simple box modifier dot fill max width padding of 60 dp, and then content alignment dot center. Now import the dp, and now what we gonna do first, let's simple show the text which is the header of the navigation. So navigation drawer header, and then you can style it as much as you want, whatever you want to do. And if I am do something like material theme dot typography dot line headline medium headline large, you can, yeah, that's the headline, so let's take it as headline large. And this is basically the style. Now the text is okay. Now if I run this, actually, yeah, let's run this first and see what is happening. So navigation drawer sample. So now you can see the blank screen. Actually we don't have anything. This is the navigation drawer sheet, which this is the navigation drawer, and this is the navigation drawer set sheet, model drawer sheet basically. Now what we can add, first let's create a drawer item data class drawer item. What we gonna provide to this drawer item? So to hold the data of the drawer item, I'm gonna make it first we need icon. So let's create a icon variable of type image vector, then the label or whatever the text basically. So where title, I'm gonna hold it as string, and just also I'm gonna need a second badge, or you can say notification or value, so that also. And I'm gonna name the type is basically going to be the string type. Now we need to create a list of these items. So I'm gonna create a list of items where items equals to list of, and navigation drawer item. Now we need to provide navigation drawer item and provide the data. So icon equals to icons dot default dot home, then the title should be the home, and what is the second badge, let's make it as 20. Now let's just copy and paste it 5 times or 4 times, whatever times, how many times you want, 3 4 5. Now let's change the icons. For home, just make it account, so it will going to be the profile. Then I'm gonna make it as notifications, and help is this, no, info, yes, and the last one I'm gonna make it as settings, title is settings. Now these are the items, and obviously we need to provide this inside this model draw sheet content. So just simple, how we gonna provide this, I'm gonna just iterate it through it, items dot for each in item, or yeah, we just need an item, so I'm just gonna need for each. And if you need the position also, then you need to use the for each indexed. Now here I just need the item data, so this is perfect for me. Now navigation drawer item, this is the composable function which is provided by us to us by the Jetpack Compose. Okay, so this is the predefined thing. This contain label whether it is selected or not, and the on click of this particular item. So label item dot title, and yeah, I think item dot title is the label, and selected whether it is selected or not. So for that purpose we need to check if item is equals to the selected item or not. Now what is the selected item? We need to create a variable for the state, for holding the state of the items. Okay, so that's it. And on click I want my drawer state to be changed, and also the selected item to be as item, whatever the item equals. So this is it. Now we also need something, yeah, we need to provide the icon also, because we created icon. So I'm gonna provide the icon also. And how we gonna provide the icon? Simple, icon, just create icon, and image vector, import the icon composable, then image vector, and just provide the item dot icon. Content description is gonna be item dot title. Now this is the icon, and just put the badge also. How we gonna provide the badge? Simple text equals to item dot badge. Then I think this is it, and you can also provide modifier. So I'm gonna provide modifier dot padding navigation drawer item defaults dot item defaults dot just hold the colors, I guess. This is interesting. Oh, sorry, I just call that different. This is not what I want. I want navigation drawer item defaults, and that's hold the item padding. So yeah, that's pretty much. Let me show the source code of the navigation drawer item. It contains label, the title, then the whether it is selected or not, then on click of that particular, and the icon, the badge, the shape, the color you can change. And now let's create some state variables which holds the state of these. So first, whether we are going to make a selected item by remember and mutable state of items at 0. So first item, basically the default one, the selected is the first item is going to be the defaulted selected by default. In navigation drawer we do that. So first item selected, and the which is shown to the user on the screen. So that's it. Now we also need some other things like drawer state. So let's make it drawer state. Remember drawer state initial value drawer value dot closed. Now also we need the coroutine scope. Why? Let me show you. First let's create this remember coroutine scope. Now why we need this scope? First we need to provide the drawer state inside this model navigation drawer. So drawer state is equals to drawer state. Then the gesture enabled. So we need the gesture enabled only when drawer state is open. Otherwise we don't need actually. I think this is pretty much. Now on click of this we want, so on click of this navigation drawer item, we want our navigation drawer to closed. So how we gonna implement that? Simple drawer state dot close, but this close is basically a suspend function. So for calling this suspend function we need the coroutine scope, and that's why I created a scope, and I'm gonna call this function inside this scope because this is a suspend function. That's it. Now let me show you something. So this is the navigation drawer, and inside this you can provide any type of content whichever you want, and let me provide it. So yeah, that's it. First let's run this and see how it's gonna look like, and then we gonna create a content which we gonna provide inside this navigation drawer. So if I swipe it, then you can see the gesture is not enabled. Okay, now let me make it what we can say. If it is open, then disabled it, and if it is not open, then simply enabled it, obviously. Or we can do this as simply initiated it, make it to default by true. Now if I swipe in, now you can see this is our navigation drawer. So it is only showing us the settings. Whenever I click, just simple click. So why this is happening, let me see. Okay, so what happening is here last one is showing. Okay, so this is the issue, and let me change this to column actually and see if that gonna work or not. Let's run this. Let me just swipe in, slide in. Okay, so this is working because obviously column has this thing that you need to put item, then again in the next line it put the item, so it doesn't go to the top of the top of the top of the layer, like one over the top, one over the top thing. So yeah, the label is not showing because we need to provide the composable here. So provide the text like this, and now if I run this, so yeah, that's basically you need to provide a composable function which is gonna look good, or whatever you can say aesthetically. So that is something you need to provide. So like this, simple, and if I click on this, then this is selected, and now if I open this, you can see the selected one is this. And you also can simply just change this like this, and let me slide in, and you can see simple simple. You can also make it this the padding for this particular composable more, and then make it as center. So you can do many more things with this. But let me before actually, so first, before we dive into more nitty gritty of this navigation drawers, let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever gotten lost in a well, navigating through a complex Android app can feel like that sometimes. That's where navigation drawers come in as your trusty guide, leading you seamlessly through the different section of leading your basically your users to seamlessly through the different sections of your app. And imagine your app as a house, and the navigation drawer is like a master key that unlocks all the rooms. With just a few taps or swipes, you can explore every nook of cranny of your app without ever feeling lost or confused. Just like you can see, you have everything. It's like when you click on this profile, then the profile screen is gonna open notification, then the notification info is not in the not info section. So it's also similar to the bottom navigation. If you see the bottom navigation menu, now let's do one more thing, which is the scaffold, basically the content. So what we gonna show on the content? So simple. I'm gonna create a scaffold layout, and in this scaffold layout, and we need to provide top app bar, bottom app bar, or other things. If you want to provide something more, then you can do that also. And yeah, that's pretty much, I guess. Let me make the scaffold layout first, and then see how we gonna see that. So I'm gonna just copy paste something, and standard floating icon button, make it add button. So is this any issue? The content padding I didn't use, so I'm gonna get the content padding from the scaffold layout. The content basically for the scaffold layout. Simple. Remove this. Now if I right, scaffold content extended, yeah. Now if I run this app, or you can do one more thing, that you can just provide simple. If I show you till it is running, and what you can do is top app bar, and in this top app bar you can provide navigation icon, which is icon button, and inside this icon button you can provide the icon. So I'm gonna provide icons dot default dot menu icon, just simple image vector. So this no value pass for the title. Title is going to be the, let me see, title contains composable or simple title composable, so we need to provide the text here. And now if I run this, so on click of the icon, the navigation icon, what I want the drawer state to be the open. What drawer state initial value is that drawer value dot close. So I want drawer state equals to drawer value dot open. This we need to call from the scope, if I am not wrong. Okay, sorry, drawer state dot, I have this function, then why I'm doing this? Just scope dot launch. Now let me put this inside this extended also, or we can just put this here. That's pretty much good actually. Drawer, so if it is closed, then open as, let's just close it. Now let me rerun this till, let me show you what it does. So it is opening this navigation drawer, and if I click on one of them, then it will close that. So this is our complete structure of the UI screen. If I click on this menu icon, it will open the drawer, navigation drawer, and if I click on something, then it will close the navigation drawer and also select that particular profile option. So if I click on this, then next time it will show us the settings, and if I click on this like this, then it will close it, and if I swipe it here, then it will open it like so. This is basically the navigation drawer thing. So now So now, congratulations if you just become a navigation drawer wizard. Now go forth and spread your newfound knowledge to the world, creating apps that are as intuitive as and easy to use as a well designed navigation drawer. How to create tab layout using the tab row and the scrollable tab row. Purpose, first we need tabs to show. For showing the tabs, I'm going to create a data class, hold the data of the tabs. So tab data, this is the class, and in this class we are going to create the title of the tab, which we gonna show on each of the tabs, and then the description which we gonna show into the onto the screen whenever the particular title the tab select user selected. Then the image which I'm gonna show on the screen, obviously just like the description. Now we need to create a list of the tabs, so for that I'm just gonna copy paste. So these are the 5 items, and these are the 5 tabs I'm gonna show on the screen under the top app bar. Okay, now let's simple create a tab. How we gonna create that tab layout? Simple, you need to create a composable function. I'm gonna create it and name it as tab row example. Tab row example. Now simply whatever what you are gonna show to the tab inside the tab row. First we are going to show the tabs inside after the top app bar, and the top tab row basically consists of some tabs, and on click of each tab we're gonna show some particular screen, and for that purpose we need the view pager, horizontal view pager I'm gonna use in this particular one. Now let's create simple column, and I'm gonna make it as modifier equals to modifier dot fill max size. So it's gonna take the whole screen as the name suggests. Now the for creating the tab rows we just need tab row. This is the particular composable which we need to use for creating tabs. Now simple, it contains simple some parameters, which is selected tab row index, selected tab index, particular whatever the tab you selected, it shows you need to provide the particular index into this. Then the modifier, then the container color you can change, you can change the content color, you can change the indicator also, you can change the divider, and you can change the tabs. Simple, the tabs you need to provide. And now this is the tab row, and this tab row basically are the fixed tabs to display all the tabs in a set simultaneously. They are the best for switching between related content quickly, such as between transportation methods in a map, to navigate between fixed tabs, tap on individual tab, or swipe left or right in the content area. Okay, now this is there is a second type of tab row also, which is scrollable tab row, and the scrollable tab row is basic label tab row. Yeah, this is the scrollable tab row, and what it does is basically it contains a row of tab and displays an indicator when a set out when you want your set of tabs to not fit on the particular screen. Instead you want them to scrollable. Okay, so like we have the in the Google Play Store, after the top app bar we have certain options like for you, top charts, other devices, kids categories, and that's what that tab row is basically scrollable, not neither not the fixed. Okay, so we are going to create both of them. Okay, first I'm gonna create a simple tab row. Ignore the selected tab index currently. Let's create h padding. Sorry, h padding is doesn't we don't need h padding inside the tab row, but we need that inside the scrollable tab row. Now we have the tab list, so just iterate it through index and tab data. Now just create a tab. Simple, selected, whether it is selected or not we need to provide the boolean, and then the on click, and then the selected content color, unselected content color you can provide, and you can provide the text. Simple, which you need to provide obviously. Okay, we don't need this. How we gonna get the selected tab index or something else? So for that purpose I'm gonna create a remember state for the pager state. So create a where pager state was to remember pages state. Now here you need to pass initial page and the initial page offset. Firstly thing we need to opt in for. Now here you need to pass the size of the list which you want in the pager. So I'm gonna provide the list as tab list dot size. So let's provide the selected tab index. Whatever the selected page index is, basically the pages state dot current page, and here if pages state dot current page is equals to the index, that means we are on the selected text. And on click, I just want our pager state dot animate scroll to page. Which page? The index page. And for that to use, we need a scope, the coroutine scope. So for that purpose, I'm gonna create a simple remember coroutine scope. Now launch, put this under this launch. Simple. Yeah, that's it, I guess. And now after this tab row, I'm gonna put horizontal pager in which state equals to pager state, obviously. Then inside this horizontal pager, I'm gonna use column modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width, and padding as 10 dp. Then vertical arrangement dot center, horizontal alignment dot center horizontally. Inside this, simple create a icon and a text, just copy and paste. And here I'm gonna show the image, then title, then the description. The content description basically consists of title, and that's it. If I run this, actually let me run this and see how it's gonna look like. You can see this is okay. We don't see the title here. Why? Okay, we didn't provide the text, so you need to provide the text also. This consists the composable. So text, what is the text here? The tab data dot title. Now let's run it. Now you can see screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4, screen 5. It actually takes what we can say is the definite size for each tab. Okay, just calculate that width and then divide it by 5 or whatever the size it is gonna take that. Okay, now if we make it scrollable and run it, then you can see the difference here. You are gonna see the difference. Now you can see screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4, and then we can scroll. Now here you can see the space. So this is the edge padding. You can change as per your need. Let's put 0 dp and then see how it's gonna look like. It looks exactly attached to the screen. You can change it as much as you want. Like I can put 4 dp, then 5 dp, 10 dp, or 11 dp, or 18 dp, 220 dp. So you can make it as per your need. Yeah, I think you can also change the padding of the tab. So you can use the modifier here and modifier dot padding, and you can make padding as 10 dp or whatever you let me put. So you can see the padding increases and now it looks. So yeah, that's it. The autocomplete text view of Jetpack Compose. So for that particular purpose, we need to create a composable function. I'm gonna name it as autocomplete text view. And terms which I need for the list is this. Okay, so this is basically the list as you already saw in the video, like how it's gonna work, the autocomplete text thing. And then we need some mutable objects, and after this I'm gonna create the column, and column is going to be the column. Inside this we need to create a modifier so that we can have some padding and the clickable and the width of the component. So padding I'm gonna have as 35 dp dot dp. Then I'm gonna make it as fill at max width, and then I'm gonna make it as clickable and provide the interaction source. So interaction source is basically, let me show you what is the interaction source. So if you read it here, mutable interaction source, it represents the stream of interactions, like how the user of interact with the component, like draggable and you can say clickable. So these two basically low level interaction APIs which have that mutable interaction source as a parameter, which allow us to hoist and combine multiple interactions into one event stream. This is it. And now let's have the interaction source, and indication is going to be the null here. By default it is null, and we also don't need anything else in this particular thing. And then on click of this text, basically I want the expand date to be the false. After this, inside this column I need a text which is going to show as a terms. The text is terms, font size 16 sp. You can have more value for this. And font weight, I'm gonna have font weight dot medium. The color one, this is color dot black. Yeah, that's it. Now second column, inside the parent column, the modifier is going to be the same for this purpose, for this column, which is modifier dot fill max width. and also copy it and create a row inside this column. Now inside this row I'm gonna create a text field on which user going to enter the text. Value is going to be the term which I created above, and on value change, on change of the value, basically if a user enter A then B, then the value changes. So on that purpose I'm gonna name term, basically make it as new term. So initialize it with the new term, whatever the new term entered by the user, and then the expanded value is also expanded, going to be the true in this case, because user entered something, so that means we need to show something, some list of values, and you can modify it as per your need. Let me run this and show you how it's gonna look like. Okay, till it is running, let me have some other things also in this particular modifier of, sorry, the let me provide the modifier for this text field also. So modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width and height. It is height. Now you can see this is terms, this is the text. Here you can enter anything, but it doesn't have. So let me make it height as height text fields, which is 50 dp. Are already provided field, which is 50 dp. Okay, height is provided. Now the border, let's have some border around the text field, and width is going to be the 2.dp. Color, I'm gonna make it as color dot red, and shape equals to rounded corner shape of 15 dp. Let me run this again. See, after this and modifier and other things, border on globally positioned. So where we want to change the text field size, so let's have changes as coordinates, oh sorry, it dot size dot to size. So globally positioned means the text field size is going to be the expanded, or becomes whatever the coordinates is going to become. So now you can see actually, if I enter something, nothing is happening currently, but it will happen. Let me change some things also, and let's make it single line true. Then let's create a trailing icon. And how is we gonna create the trailing icon? First by making a icon button. Icon button means icon, and modifier equals to modifier dot size 30 dp, and image vector, which is going to be the icons dot rounded dot keyboard arrow down, basically not arrow down, it's arrow down. Then content description, and then we need image vector content description. I'm gonna save it as null. Tint we need to provide, so color dot unspecified. Now let's run the app. So now you can see the arrow button is here, and on click of this I'm gonna make it expanded equals to, just revert the value actually of the expanded thing. So I'm gonna run it now. So okay, now we need some animation to show the collapsed and expanded window. So for that purpose I'm gonna create an animated visibility. So visible equals to means expanded value. So expanded if expanded is true, then we need to uh, show the card. And what's the card here? Modifier equals to modifier dot padding, and padding is going to be the 5 dp. Then width, and width is going to be the text field size dot width dot db. After this elevation, elevation means card defaults dot card elevation, and we need to provide the value here. I'm gonna provide it as 10 dp. After the elevation we need shape also, so rounded corner shape of 10 dp. After this I'm gonna show the lazy column, use the lazy column to show the list basically. So not content, just modifier equals to modifier dot height in, and max dp is going to be the 150 dp. And inside this lazy column, if term dot is not empty, that means user entered something, items, and in items terms dot filter means the list which we have as terms. I'm gonna filter some things, and how we gonna filter? I'm gonna check if it dot lowercase dot contains term dot lowercase or it dot lowercase. That means same thing actually, dot contain others and make it as sorted. And now let's open this. So how I'm gonna make it as, so inside this I'm gonna provide the title, which is it, and then title term equals to the title and expanded equals to false. Now create a terms class, and let me create a terms composable function also. So fun terms have a title of type string, and on select of type string provided the unit. Then create a row which is modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width dot clickable on select title dot padding. Now show the text is equal to the title, and font size is going to be the 16 sp. Now we have the if case here. Also we need some else case. So in the else case, items terms dot sorted, that means if the term is blank, like in the starting, at the starting, terms title equals to it, term equals to title, and expanded equals to false. Now if I run this, let's see, now you can see the terms, and if I click on this, there is a card which is, we can see Android Studio Clean Architecture, comment, Java, Jetpack Compose, Jotling, likes, Medium, others, Python, share, subscribe. Okay, it is in the sorting order. Now if I click on if type C, it will only show the text which have C in it and others. This is included in everything. If there is nothing which is matching to the list, then we are going to show the others. And yeah, that's it. You can create your own autocomplete text view as like this, to switch bit from the dark theme to light theme and light theme to dark theme using the simple switch icon, this simple switch. And all right, let's get started with it. How we gonna do this? Simple. First we need a variable where dark theme, it provides us the value whether currently the dark theme enabled or not, remember. And then mutable state of is gonna be false at first, and by using this we gonna pass this to this dark theme equals to dark theme. So if I open this, and you can see it contains three parameters, that dark theme which are provided by the system in dark theme, means your system, your device is in the dark theme. If it is in the dark theme, then it will provide the true here, and if it is not, then it is false. Obviously dynamic color, you can provide content, whatever the color content. If you want to change some colors, then you can provide here. And yeah, that's it. Actually we need to create a switch. Let's create a composable function, theme fun theme switcher, and simply here we need to pass the dark theme variable value, basically dark theme value, which is of type boolean, and just simply create a switch. Now the checked and the unchecked, what we gonna do on the click of unchecked change? So first on the check, simple dark theme, unchecked change, we need to provide here on theme change, and it will return the function callback. Then on check change, simple on theme change, And colors, we need to provide the colors to this switch defaults dot colors, and inside this simple check track color material theme dot color scheme dot primary container checked thumb color material theme dot color scheme dot primary material theme dot color scheme dot secondary container unchecked thumb color material theme dot color scheme dot secondary. Now just call the theme switcher from here and provide the dark theme here, and on click of the on change just simply change the value of the on dark theme, whatever the value, just simply reverse it. So we need to actually call this function from the like this. So I did a mistake here. Now it is right like composable switch defaults. Now so now you can see it converted to the dark theme. This is dark theme, this light. So you can simply do it like this. We can also change the color. Actually the color I did wrongly. Unchecked thumb color provided secondary container, so I just provided the same color to track and thumb, so that's why it is looking not fine. Now it is gonna look fine. This is a simple thing. Now if I click check, then this is like simple. That's it for basically. I have this messages list here, and this list of images. So what I need to implement is just a list to show the user to a list, basic list of items. I'm gonna add one more thing here, hi, and just simply copy this so that the list becomes tool. Some sort of basically the size of list becomes much more than what I want it to show. So for showing the list to the user, I can use simple composable function lists and grids, and inside this I can use the column, just simple iterate through this messages dot for each using for each, and here we get the messages as lambda. Then simple create a text box, and inside this text just pass the message. Now if I run this app, you will see, let me show you first. So you can see simple, we have these messages, and if I increase the padding of all the messages, or I can increase the padding here, actually modifier dot padding as 10 dp, and similarly I'm gonna add padding to each text. And now if I run this, you can see subscribe, like, share, comment and everything. But here's the problem, I can't scroll it top and bottom anything. So what the use of this list to show to the user, because user can't see these items. It can see till what 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 times follow this, and after that just gone. And if the list is bigger than this one, then it's no use. But we can do one thing actually here, we can just provide the vertical scroll here, and in this we need the scroll state. So just pass the scroll state here, scroll state by using remember scroll state, and then pass the scroll state here. Is this gonna work? Let's see. Yes, it's gonna work because we can scroll it now. The vertical scrolling is happening. But then why we need this lazy column or lazy row? So basically, if you want to display a large number of items or a list of unknown length, you can use a layout like column and row, but it can cause performance issues. Why? Because since all the items will be composed and laid out whether or not they are visible. So basically, when I pass this iterate this list, and the composition happens for this list and grid composable, and inside this then the column composition composable, the text composable is composed for how many times? The list, the length of the list basically. So if the length of the messages, if I just simply, what am I gonna do is pass this hi, just copy paste. Now if I run this, let's run now. So because the list is big enough now, I guess, to understand the performance issue. So now if you can see, it is not loading because it is taking time. So now it loaded, and that's the issue. But the thing is that scrolling is not gonna affected because all the items already laid out. So that's why this is cool. If we have some that is not big enough, like 10 to 20 items, then you can use column and provide the vertical scroll, so you can use that. Okay, but if you have something like a big users list, big profile user, big users list, or the post list in the Instagram, so that will cause the issue because you don't know about the length. And the issue is here that all the items, basically the all the messages here And when we pass the message to the text composable, so the text composable is composed and laid out as many times as the size. Okay, so that's the issue. And the thing is that we can't even see the last item or most of the last item, but the it is laid out, it is composed. So that's the issue here. So that's why the compose provides a set of components which only compose and lay out items which are visible in the components of viewport. These components include lazy column and lazy row. As the name suggests already, the difference between them is the orientation in which they lay out their items and scroll. Lazy column is related to the column, produces a vertical scrolling list, and lazy row produces a horizontally scrolling list. And simple. Now, the lazy column components basically different to most layouts in the compose. Instead of accepting a column, and let's actually first create the lazy column and then see. So let me just simply copy paste this because we're gonna use that lazy column. Now lazy column has this content block, and I'm gonna use this. So now pass the items here, and inside these items I'm gonna pass the messages, then message, and now import it. Simple. Provide this. Now if I run this is simple our lazy list. This is lazy column, and this will provide us the vertical scroll. And this lazy list basically, now if you see, the scrolling is not that smooth like column because the items get laid out when we can see. Okay, so it's like recycler view. Whenever we need the view, it will recycle the view and show the data. Simple. Now you can also use simple like item and display one thing. I'm gonna simply remove this message and first item, and you can just simply after the list of items to display just simple and item or the last item. Now if I run this, but the list is too big, so we can't see the last item because we need to, if we want to see this last item, we need to scroll it at to the end. So if I scroll it to the end, which is too big, okay, let's forget about that. So basically you can use this lazy column as a scroll view in of the XML, and inside this you can provide anything. Like here you can provide the top app bar, and then here you can provide any list, and then you can simply provide this. So you can use this as a sticky bar actually, if you want. And I will actually gonna show you how we can create a sticky header in this using this lazy column. So that's it. And this is the lazy column. Now lazy grid. What is lazy grid? So let me just comment this, and let's create the lazy grid. So lazy grids are two: lazy vertical grid and the lazy horizontal grid. As simple, lazy column and lazy row, lazy vertical grid and lazy horizontal grid. So I'm gonna create the lazy vertical grid here, and inside this we need to pass some things. So the lazy vertical grid will display items in vertical scrollable manner container and span across multiple columns, while the lazy horizontal grids will have the same behavior on the horizontal axis. And also I'm forgot to tell you one about this, that the lazy list scope or lazy grid vertical grid scope has provide us the lazy DSL scope, offers a DSL scope, so which allows us apps to describe the item contents, and the lazy content is then responsible for adding each item's content as required by the layout and the scroll position. DSL basically stands for domain specific language. So that's it. And now in the lazy vertical grid we need to pass certain things, that is columns. So you can pass the columns, and simply if you need to use grid cells dot adaptive. Minimum size you need to provide. I'm gonna provide 120 dp. Now you can use adaptive, and let me also show you the source code of the lazy vertical grid. And this is the source code. Columns, you need to provide the columns, how many columns you want your grid to show. Okay, and then we have the modifier, then the state we're gonna see content padding, reverse layout, vertical, everything. Okay, what are the grid cells? So grid cells basically helps us to understand the available size and the arrangement of the items. So we can provide the fixed, we can provide the adaptive, and if I show you, we have these adaptive fixed and fixed size. So fixed basically number of columns, fixed size means the whole vertical grid size. Okay, so I'm gonna use adaptive first and then show you the fixed one. Adaptive. Now inside this lazy vertical grid, just simply call the items here and provide the list of the images, and then simply provide the image as lambda, create the icon, painter resource, provide the id as image, content description blank, and if I run this now, so basically lazy vertical grid is lets us specify a width of items, and grid will fit as many columns as possible. Any remaining width is distributed equally among the columns. Now here we need to pass the tint also, because I uses the icon. Tint equals to color dot unspecified, and run it. You can also use the span in the item. It is also available, so you can play around with that also. Now you can see the images here, and after this you can see the images here basically. So that's it. Now if I provide the fixed here and provide the columns, which is 3, if I provide the column as 3, then you will see exactly like the this layout actually. If I let me run this, if I'm not wrong, exactly this we gonna see in the we will get basically by using simple. Now if I provide this 2, then you can see that's how it will look. Now let me show you the vertical staggered grid. So staggered is also in vertical and in horizontal available, so you can use that also. And here you need to pass the columns, if obviously staggered grid cells dot adaptive or fixed, whatever you want. So I'm gonna pass it as 200 dp, and images. Yes, now if I run this, is there any issue? No. So now you can see this staggered one. So basically it just adjusts all of this, and it just takes the width and height as per the image. And if you use lazy horizontal grid, then it will take as the width as per the image. Okay, so that's it. Now so basically you can also use vertical item spacing here, horizontal arrangement you can also use, content you can also use. These are the things you can basically play around with that. But we will move forward. If I specify fixed here and pass the 3, then you can see okay, let me run this, because it is not going, it doesn't feels like it. So you can see the staggered one. Now if I pass this as 2, then you can see simple. You can work around with that actually, you can play around. Now we have this content padding and now let me just comment this and uncomment this, and also let me just simply remove all of this, because this is too much, list is too big. And in this lazy column I'm gonna pass the content padding. So what is this content padding? Padding values, top equals to 20 dp, not top, sorry, horizontal equals to 20 dp, vertical equals to 10 dp. Okay, now the padding values is this. So if I run this, actually let me show you first, and what does that mean actually. Let's see first that. So here we pass the horizontal as 20 dp and vertical as 10 dp. So this means that it will add 20 dp to the horizontal edges of the items, that left and right basically. And if I pass the this vertical, and this vertical padding basically means that the top and bottom of the content, top and sorry, the first and the last item basically add the 10 dp to its top and its bottom. Meaning, not sorry, the first item basically add 10 dp to the top, and the last item add the 10 dp to the bottom. So this is that. And it doesn't mean that it will include the paddings to each component, not each item. It just add the padding to the basically the list. Okay, that's it. And the content spacing is also there. Let me show you content spacing. Sorry, content spacing means we can provide the vertical arrangement actually. So here you can provide the arrangement dot spaced by like this, and here you can provide the this. So now this will include basically 4 dp space in between each items. Okay, that's how it works. So it's vertically basically, so you can just say, and in a lazy column it's like horizontal arrangement. It is similar to the column and row of so vertical arrangement and horizontal arrangement is that. Now the lazy vertical grid, however, accept both. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now let's talk about the item keys. By default, each item state is keyed against the position of the item in the list or grid. However, this can cause issues if the dataset changes, since items which change position effectively lose any remembered state. If you imagine the scenario of lazy row within a lazy column, the row changes. Let's talk about the item keys. By default, each item state is keyed against the position of the item in the list or grid. However, this can cause issues if the dataset changes, since items which change position effectively lose any remembered state. If you imagine the scenario of lazy row within a lazy column, if the row changes item position, the user would then lose their scroll position within the row. To combat this, we can provide a stable and unique key for each item, providing a block to the key parameter. And simple, providing a stable key enables item state to be consistent across dataset changes. How we gonna work around this? Let me show you. And this is our messages. Let's remove this actually, and remove this also. This is our messages, and I'm gonna items, and inside this items, just pass the items equals to messages and key. So here I'm gonna pass the key here, key, and let me just simple message. So what we can do here is we can just specify the id for each message, stable plus unique key for the each item. Can do is, let's simply create a where I equals to remember mutable state of 0, and simply I plus plus each time. So it will provide the key to the each message as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can simply have the IDs. So basically we have the IDs in the data classes. If you already know about that data class, that we have the objects like books or a car or a user. So every user has its own ID, so we just need to specify that ID here, and it will just enable this item state to be consistent. So by providing keys, basically we can help we help the compose to handle reordering correctly. For example, if our item contains remembered state, setting keys would allow compose to move this state together with the item when its item position changes. And that's it, I guess. Let's see the item animations. So if you already used recycler view, I hope you will know that it animates item changes automatically. Lazy layouts provide the same functionality for item reorderings. The API is simple. We just need to set the animate item placement modifier to the item content. You can actually work around with this animation also. Animate item placement, basically you can use that, and you can also use some other animations also with this. Now let's talk about the sticky headers. In this, basically we can use the sticky headers. First, let me remove these, and let's use the sticky header here. Sticky header. So what is this sticky header? You can actually provide the header like what we can pass. Me show you, like we can have the list as list of string, and like messages and photos. Okay, now let me just simply iterate through that. How? What is my named list? Okay, list dot for each. So for each list, and what is this list here? The value of the category. So let's have, actually let's use the it here and pass this sticky header. So each item, just pass the it. Let me show you the just text here actually, and after this just simply pass the item, just like this. So first time it will provide items equals to messages, and second times also it will provide the messages, but we don't want it. What I'm gonna do is, so what we can do here is just simply check the text here, and as per the text we can provide the composable. If it is messages, then it read this, and if it is images, then provide this. Let me just have this messages, not photos, just images. And if I run this here, then you will able to see sticky header, and with that sticky header we can see the list of items with the using lazy column. Messages here, then we get to see the messages, and sticky header as image you can see, then we get to see the images. And you can create this sticky header as per your need. You can provide padding there, you can provide anything, you can provide simply everything. Okay, and also specify this as basically just have this what we can say similar things. Okay, now how we gonna react to the scroll positions? So that's also the very useful case, and we need to create this what where list state. So list state equals to remember lazy list state. Now it will remember the lazy list state, and we need to pass the list state to the state equals to list state to the lazy column, and we are good to go. And that's how we can use. Now how we gonna use this? So you already saw in some cases that we have the button here. The when we scroll down, then we get to see the button as top button that will just simply help us to move to the top. Okay, so that's we can use that button we can use actually. And so I'm gonna just name it as the I'm gonna show you the list state behavior. So you can actually use simple list state dot first visible item is index. So whenever the first visible item index is greater than 0, that means the user scroll down. Okay, so that's it. And then the layout info, you can get the layout info from this list state. You can also get the interaction source. You can also get the first visible item scroll offset. Commonly need to know about information about the first visible item, like lazy list state provides us the first visible item index and first visible item scroll offset properties. Use the showing and hiding a button based on if the user has scrolled past the first item or not, then this is helpful. And reading the state directly in the composition is useful when we need to update the other UI composable. But there are also scenarios where the event does not need to be handled in the same composition. A common example of this is sending an analytics event once the user has scrolled past a certain point. So to handle that efficiently, we can use an snapshot flow. Okay, so that's also something like if user index change, then we just this filter it and collect some other data or for past some first time event. So that's also the case. And how we gonna control this? You can use the list state dot animate scroll to item, like this here, scroll to item or animate scroll to item, both are similar. This scroll to item is just scroll it to this, and animate scroll to item is just animate it and then scroll it to. Yeah, that's it for how we can create an onboarding screens using Jetpack Compose in this Android Studio. So for that purpose, we need to create a function, a composable function, obviously, which is a fun onboarding screens. And we are going to create the onboarding screens just using the view pager of the Jetpack Compose. Simple swipe and scroll options we have in those particular vertical or and horizontal view pager. First we need the pager state, and the pager state should is the pager state, and for that purpose we are going to use the remember pager state. And this needs two things. First, the initial page, which is obviously in our case the 0, and the initial page offset fraction, which is 0f. And after this we need to provide the number of pages we have for this pages state. I'm gonna have the three pages states, and three I have three images to show. And so for that purpose, just a simple. And we need to opt in for experimental foundation API. After this, I'm gonna create a box, and this is simple. The box and the modifier for the purpose modifier dot fill max size, width, height, whatever you want. So I'm gonna modifier dot fill max height, and inside this I'm gonna create a horizontal pager, and this pager has the state. So I'm gonna provide the pager state variable here, and then inside this view horizontal pager I'm gonna create the box, and this box the modifier dot fill max. Okay, and inside this fill max size I'm gonna also have the content alignment. So content alignment is equals to content alignment dot center. So I want my all content to be in the center, and inside this I'm gonna create the column. Now this column is for just showing the content of the onboarding screens. So modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width, and padding of this column is going to be the 10 dot tp, and vertical arrangement dot center. Now I have this column, and this column has gonna have two things. Column I'm gonna have two things. So if one is the icon, and icon is basically to show the image, and how we gonna show the images. So that's the reason. No, that's the thing. For that purpose, I'm gonna create two variables: resource, which is going to have remember and 0, and second one is the text blank text. Okay, blank. On the basis of the pager state value, pager state dot current page, I'm gonna have for 0, and then for 1, then for 2. Text in the for the first page, the text should be is going to be the do messaging as much as you want, but just click like this video. And the resource is going to be the r dot tribal dot first. Then simple. The same thing is for the other two things, and make new friends and comment anything in this video's comment section. Section is going to be the dot rival dot second. Then the text is upload videos or images, but be sure to subscribe the channel. Then resource is equals to r dot rival dot. So on the basis of the pages state, that means the pages state the current page, I'm gonna have these values, and just enter resource, and here provide the resource. Description is going to be the onboarding screens, and the text is going to be the text. Now here you can create the modifier value here, like modifier, okay, modifiers to modifier dot width, and I'm gonna have 500 dot dp, and height as 500 dot dp. So this is and yeah, that's it for the content purpose. And let's have, this is going to be the box, and this is the horizontal pager, and after this horizontal pager I am gonna create a custom indicator thing. So how we gonna create the custom indicator? So simple, column, and in this column we gonna have the modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width, padding of 20 dp, and then alignment, which is the alignment dot bottom center. And after this horizontal, oh sorry, not horizontal alignment, and the alignment dot center horizontally. And inside this I'm gonna create a row, and simple, repeat it 3 times. The custom indicator class, and I'm gonna I just need something which is selected, and pages state dot current page is equals to it. We need to create the custom indicator composable. And how we gonna create this composable? This is simple, add composable fun custom indicator, and provide the is selected variable. Here is selected as boolean. Box modifier equals to modifier dot padding of 2.dp, then background as color equals to, if is selected is true, then color dot black, else color dot gray. And here I'm gonna choose the light gray as, and after this the shape, the background as this, and after this the shape equals to going to be the circular circle shape. And we also need the size, so let's have size as 15.dp, and that's pretty much. Just call the onboarding here, onboarding screen, and then let's see how it's gonna look like. Okay, so that's pretty much actually. And let's see. So the app is running. Okay, now you can see everything is working fine actually. The black screen is showing because we provide the tint here. So we'll just provide tint as color dot unspecified. Now rerun the app and you can see everything is working fine. So this is how it looks like. This is the text, this is the image, and if you swipe you get the second image and second text, the third one. Now here what you can do is basically you can create a variable which stores the variable value as visible. So whenever the current page value is going to be the pages state dot current page is going to be the 3 or the last value, then you can show the button to the user, and on click of that button you can simply move the user from this screen to the main screen. So yeah, that's we are going to implement the Instagram comment section UI layout using the bottom sheet of the Jetpack Compose. So for that purpose, we just need to create a simple function. Obviously, we need to show comment section using bottom sheet. I'm gonna make this composable function and annotate this function using obviously with composable, add composable, and inside this I'm gonna create first the bottom sheet state which we need to implement the bottom sheet. So well, bottom sheet state, and for that purpose we just need to have the remember bottom sheet state. This model bottom sheet state gives us the object of the sheet state which helps us to simply you can set to dismiss or something. Let me show you the functions of these composable. So if you want to skip this partially expanded bottom sheet, that means like if by default it is false, so that means when you click on the model bottom sheet it will open the partial, yeah, means the half of the screen basically. So if you make this true, it just open the model bottom sheet to the whole screen. So that's one thing. And the confirm value change, that means the sheet value. These are some things you can use. Now as we have the bottom sheet, now what we need the bottom sheet state, the variable, whether the bottom sheet opened or closed. So for that purpose we need show bottom sheet. So I'm gonna make this as this name. You can create any type other name like is bottom sheet open, is bottom sheet closed, whatever. And I'm gonna make this as remember, and remember mutable state false. Initial the value is false, that means bottom sheet is not open yet, and make remember import. Now here's the twist, I'm gonna use the remember variable, although you can use or not. Actually let's not use this variable. So let me tell you what is this remember variable. So basically if you want your state to not be affected from the change of the orientation of this of the device, user device, so for that purpose we will use this remember variable. Okay, so if you don't use this, then whenever the device orientation change, your value gets reset. Okay, now I'm gonna use the delegate pattern. So I'm gonna initiate slice this by using by, and also I think I need this, so let me cut this, remove this. Now remember and import. Okay, so what does this mean actually? Well, bottom sheet by remember. So basically if you keep that like before, means equals to remember mutable state, then you need to use this as show bottom sheet dot value. And now this is the delegation basically. So now we don't need to use getting the value of the show bottom sheet. Okay, so that's why. And now I'm gonna create a simple scaffold layout. Scaffold, I don't need to pass anything here actually. I'm not gonna pass. So let's create a box, the modifier dot fill max size, and then background color dot white, padding, that's inner padding of the scaffold. So this is the scaffold layout, and inside this I'm gonna create a column, just simple column for showing the icon one. And this icon is going to be my painter resource r dot drawable dot image one. Me import this r, and content description basically post. And now let me just have some things like paint, padding, width and height. And let's import all of these. Width I'm gonna take as modify, actually fill max width. And height I'm gonna make it as padding. I'm gonna take padding from all the sides. So let's take as 10 dp from all of the sides. Now this icon, and after the icon I'm gonna create a spacer of modifier dot height 10 dp, so I don't think I need this, but let's create this actually. Then we need three icons, and for that purpose I'm gonna create a row, because I want both those three icons at the same line, so side by side actually. So let's create those three, and I'm gonna actually just copy paste this because we don't need to spend that time on that. So this is the icon basically. Let me just so this is the icon, sorry. So this is the heart icon where you can just like and dislike, simple like and dislike, 40 and padding all of this above. Top 10, okay, top don't need top padding actually now. So yeah, now this is the comment section, so you can comment UI, and I'm gonna make it clickable, and show bottom sheet value. Let's remove this first actually, and let's see if we can change the value of this show bottom sheet equals to true. Okay, we can change actually. So on click of the comment I'm gonna open the bottom sheet, simple. And then this is share icon where you can simply have this also, and let me remove this padding, let me remove this padding. Now everything is fine. Yeah, let me call this, and from my main activity code it. Now if I run this, let's see how it's gonna look like. So yeah, that's how it is looking like, the image, then the three icons. The let me just take this, okay, have this as 10. Okay, now no issue actually. Let's actually make this as modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width. Let's have this padding start with 10 dp, and remove all of these. Actually don't remove all of this. Yeah, now it's looking fine. Now whenever I click this, the show bottom sheet value gets changed to true. Okay, now on the value change we need to show the bottom sheet. How we gonna show the bottom sheet? By simply making, where's my box layout, this is the box layout, and after this box layout I'm gonna check if my show bottom sheet is true. If it is true, then I'm gonna simply create a, basically call this model bottom sheet, and this bottom sheet has certain parameters which you can use, like on dismiss request, modifier, sheet state, shape, container color, content color, tone elevation, everything you can change. A drag handle, you can also have this drag handle here. Now let's first on dismiss request. So on dismiss request I'm gonna change the value of this show bottom sheet to false, and after this we need to pass the sheet state. And how we gonna get the sheet state? We created already bottom sheet state, and now we need to pass the sheet content here, sheet content. And the sheet content is we need to create the sheet content. So let me create this sheet content composable, and let me create this composable function, add composable function sheet content. So let's first actually create simple column, and inside this column I'm gonna pass modifier with modifier dot fill max size, then dot background color dot black, and inside this I'm gonna create another column, and modifier equals to dot fill max width, padding top equals to 15 dp, and horizontal alignment equals to alignment dot center horizontally. And inside this I'm gonna create a text box which has the text as comments, and font size 20 sp, then font weight dot bold, and color equals to color dot white. And after this I'm gonna create a spacer which for just simple height, the 10 dp, and then the divider which also takes modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width, thickness equals to 2 dp, color equals to color dot white. And after this spacer modifier dot height 15.dp, and then comment layout. Let's create the comment layout, but before creating the comment layout I'm gonna show you how our bottom sheet looks like currently. If I run this, let me run this and show you how it's gonna look like now. If I click on this, you can see this is the our bottom sheet, and if I raise this, then you can see this is on top. Now whenever you hold down and get this to this, it will actually get to the hop, exactly like what we have in the Instagram app. If I click on this, simple drop down, and simple. Now we need to create a comment layout. How we gonna create a comment layout? So that is actually a big thing. So let me create a comment layout for you. Simple. First create a row, and inside the row just create a comment, basically the icon where we gonna show the image of the user. Okay, so I'm gonna use the here icons dot default dot person, and this is not page vector, this is using the vector. We need the vector here. Content description, profile picture. After this, simply a modifier equals to modifier dot width as 40 dp, height as 40 dp, padding start equals to 10 dp, and after the icon, so here I'm gonna create a comment. So if you check out the comment layout in the Instagram app, you can see first there is a profile picture, then it's username, and then it's the date where when the comment has been created, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 1 hour ago, 13 hour ago, whatever the time. And under this we have the comment, and after under the comment we have the reply option, and at the end of the comment layout we have the favorite icon, and under this we have this number, which is basically how many persons click on that particular heart icon. That's it. So for that, first we created an icon. Now we need to create a comment layout, which is the username and the other things basically. So let's create a column. Inside this column, a row for simple. Let's create a text basically. Here we're gonna show the username. Okay, font size 16 sp, font weight dot bold, color equals to color dot white, modifier equals to modifier. So you don't take modifier here. Let me just create this. Now just copy pasting this because we need two text. Now username is done. How many days? 3 days. So 3D text size, let's create this as simple. Now we need to create another row. Inside this, modifier dot fill max width dot padding start as 10 dp, at end 10 dp, and inside this also I'm gonna provide the horizontal arrangement, which is arrangement dot space between. I'm gonna show you the what is this arrangement dot space between. Just let me create the text here first with the 14 sp comment by the user. Now if I run this, actually let me run this first and show you how it's gonna look like now. So simple, this is the file picture, and why it is black file picture. Okay, I didn't provide the tint here, so let me provide the tint equals to color dot white and rerun this. Clicking on this comment, and we have this. Now the username, and I'm gonna provide this, actually this provide this actually here. Simple modifier equals to modifier dot fill max width dot padding 10 dp, and now the thing is we need to make some distance between this also. So for that purpose I'm gonna create a spacer here. So spacer modifier dot width of 10 dp actually. Now if I run this, make this as normal, and the color should be gray. Let's rerun this. Now it will look like the thing, basically it will actually look like the exactly what we see on the Instagram. So this is profile picture, this is username, this is how many days ago the comment made, then the comment by the user, and you can actually change the size also, which I think it will look too small, but you can just actually play with this. Okay, now we need an icon here, the heart icon. I'm gonna create an icon here. So this is a favorite icon, favorite modifier simple 2020 dp, and if I run this, now you can see this is the icon, and that's it. This is fine actually. Now let's create another row for simple, the same things, nothing changes. Arrangement dot space between the reply text, then the number of whatever, and if I run again let me run the app again. Now you can see, so this is the username, 3 days, comment by the user, reply button. You can change it, the padding here, you can create an spacer between this, and this is actually 5. This is wave, so you can actually increase the end padding here, and let's see how much padding is workable in this. 17, 18, 19. Okay, we can create 20. Now it is even. So that's how actually you can create the layout. Now you can see, you can simply create it. This is actually, you can create the list, and how we gonna create the list, let me show you. So basically this is our comment layout, and you can just simply use this comment layout by creating list of comments, and iterate that and create the lazy column, just like this lazy column. This lazy column will give us the Kotlin DSL scope, so that means domain specific language. So in domain specific language you can create the list. So in the inside this lazy column you can just simply call the items, and if you pass any type of item you can just simply iterate through it and just create the comments. So simply if I show you this, like if I run this, actually let me open. So yeah, it is looking fine, but we need to create some spacer, or we can just simply provide the modifier here. Obviously modifier equals to modifier dot padding, and padding of the top, which is 15 dp. Let's make this, and if I create 50 comments, run this. Now this is the comment section layout, and you can scroll that like we can Instagram. Okay. So yeah, that's how you can create an Instagram, the Instagram comment section UI, and you can actually change these text with the buttons, like or you can make this button as clickable, obviously by using modifier, and simply click on the reply. We can just display some other icon also, which is some other, basically the text, edit text, where user can enter the comment and then reply. Okay, and under this actually you can create another, the layout or column, whatever you can create actually. And yeah, that's. Thank you for watching this video on Jetpack Compose Components. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up and comment it below if you have something to share. Also, share it with your friends and colleagues, or whoever you want to share. And subscribe to my channel for more awesome Android development content. Also, press the bell icon. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your questions, feedback, or ideas for future videos.